Turn the pages, feel the beat, dance with words, move your feet.
Hello and welcome to this reading Dippit. Woohoo! And it started with this week's vlog. Oh my gosh, that was a tongue twister. So what has happened is that I'm now about a little over halfway of Summer in the City. I am going to finish it this week. Probably not tonight, but which is fine. It's okay. Definitely okay, but it is definitely a enemies fake dating trope and of how they get together. So what happens is that our main characters, like, they're both at a bar and they both make judgments about each other, and they end up thinking that they're going to potentially like hook up, but then they don't, and then they separate, and then like a couple years later, you know, our main character, you know what, I'm kind of a loss for names right now of like what their names are, which I do apologize, but so their girl is in New York to write a screenplay, and he just lives there, and he's like a multi-billionaire with owning a tech company, and he is there because of, well, like, he lives there, and she's there staying in New York to write her screenplay, but she's staying in her sister's soon-to-be apartment. Her sister is kind of like a aloof character who's always traveling, but you know what, that's all right. And so she agrees to be like this guy, and they're neighbors, I guess. They're neighbors in the building, and she agrees to be his fake girlfriend. But right now they're just kind of like on a date, like a real date, because he wants to get to know her, right? Because he even like admits that he's so used to, you know, getting to know or just like throwing money at the problem that he doesn't realize, and then he's like, a lot of people are okay with it, that he's not used to really getting to know people, but with her it's different. Like, he really just like wants to get to know her. So I thought that was like super cute. But the best part is that my friend, she ended up giving me these like bookmarks, or like kind of like corners for your pages. And so I got like this like mermaid one and this like grayish bluish one that's kind of like with mountains on it, that very fantasy themed. But then the other one, because it's a 3-pack, oh my gosh, is this like pink roses one. Isn't that so cute? So I'm testing it out because I never really thought that I would really like it, but you know what, it's pink and it goes with the vibe of this book. Oh my goodness, romance, right? So I just like wanted to add that in, just give you a reading update of Summer in the City. I'm really liking it. And you know what, I think I never really was like a big romance kind of reader, but now I'm kind of getting into it. So the second coming of it, liking it. And this is a really short book, so I know it's great. But I'm just really liking the pink vibe. So that's just kind of it for me right now. Gotta give it a thumbs up. Yay! Alright, and we'll catch you on the next Dippit. Happy reading, everyone. Bye! Why, hello, everyone, to this reading Dippit. Oh my goodness. So I've listened to 2 audiobooks today, and they're kind of like both like nonfiction. The first one was The Finnish Guide to Happiness by Melanie Dower. And this book is about like how this woman went from New Zealand to living in a city in Finland, and like how it just like example just how hard it was with just like, you know, you're going to a mid-climate to a climate that is you know, kind of like near the Arctic Circle, where in like say December and January it's like mainly dark outside, and you know, like can get to minus 25 degrees Celsius in the winter, right? So, and just like how, like, you know, just and how people still in that environment and climate are just like generally happy. And whenever you talk to like Finnish people about it, and like they just kind of like chuckle to themselves. And I think why it's considered to be like more happy, or these people tend to be seen to be more happy, is because they are like, they just have like a better sense of community. Like, they pay more taxes, so that way there can be you know, kind of more like better daycare, better facilities like for people who are giving birth, and just like just generally like programs to help like homeless people, and to like, you know, to become not homeless, and like just programs to make, I don't know, just life in general better, and that you have like this sense of like doing well, that because it's like, well, for example, by paying more, like there's plenty of different ways that you can benefit from it, and you're also get the sense of like helping others in your community because, you know, you are. And then the second book that I listened to was Law of Attraction, like for weight loss. This one is by Elena G. Rivers, and I thought this book was, I mean, you know, it's a lot better than a lot of the laws of attraction or affirmation type ones that I'd listened to. mainly because this one was written for women, by women, like for women, or just, well, just people in general, but versus like the ones that are written by males for females. And I like, well, at the beginning of this book, there was just so many, like, just like kind of like, if you use my like tips and advice and it goes sour for you, you cannot come back at me and be like, come at me saying this didn't work, right? So I thought that was pretty humorous, right? So then, but like after that, and kind of, but what I liked about it was just, you know, just kind of teaches you to reaffirms for you that like if you want something, you have to kind of like repeat it to yourself, and then like how like your words actually mean something, and what you tell yourself like becomes your reality. So like if you keep telling yourself like you're sad, then like yeah, you're gonna be sad. But like if you tell yourself you're gonna like choose happiness, or you're gonna see like the positive in it, and like see how it's always glass full, like half full, then that's how you're gonna see it, right? And that if you want to exercise, you have a better chance of actually exercising if you say, I'm gonna exercise today at this time doing this activity, versus just being like, oh, I'm gonna exercise today, right? You want to be as specific as you can, and then after that make it into routine. Like, so it's kind of like every day and every night repeat something like these positive affirmations to yourself, so that way you will believe them into actuality, kind of a thing. So sometimes it's just kind of great to be reminded of these kind of things. I enjoyed listening to it, probably won't listen to it again, and I think, I don't know, these kind of like laws of attraction, kind of personal development type stuff, I think are kind of nice to listen to after a while. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's my Dippit. 2 audiobooks down, and yeah, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully everybody's doing alright, and we'll catch you on the next Dippit. Bye! Hello, and welcome to this reading Dippit. And so, I have now officially finished Summer in the City by Aster. And oh my goodness, it's so cute and adorable, right? And it's just a quick read. So what we have here is we have Parker and Elle, and so Elle came to the city to write a screenplay, and she was house sitting for the summer, and they had this quick romance. He wants to be with her, right? But she's like this, and he proposes to her at the end of the summer, but she's like, oh, I can't, like so much is going on. So she ends up leaving, right? And just kind of, and then the book jumps up 1.5 years in the future, and well, she sold her screenplay, and she's got like a bigger other deals with the studio to write more screenplays, but she wants to go back to New York to write everything and to see what's going on. She looks at a townhouse, and this is the same townhouse that at one point in time her and Parker looked kind of like dreamed about, like kind of joked about like being together with. And it turns out that that ultimately she's like touring this townhouse. She realizes that that Parker had bought it for them to kind of like live in, and that one of the floors is basically like a turnaround for her, or just like it's everything to do with Elle and like their relationship, like this summer that they had, right? Elle was at a party that's like for like authors, poets, and kind of to celebrate like her and her writing, and Parker shows up. They end up having like this meeting, this get together, and they end up, and it's of course it's summer again, and they end up spending the summer together, and they realize how much like they love each other and how much they want to be together. And of course Parker's like, I will wait for you. I have waited like 2 years for you, and that I will wait another like 20 years for you, because it's always been you and it always will be you. And at the end of this summer that he proposes to her, and so that way they will always have summer together. And it's just, oh my gosh, so cute. They get to be together, right? And they're both working, and they're both living in the townhouse together and are making it their own. So adorable. Yeah, I would recommend like 4 to 5, just a very cute read. I feel like I would want to read this again maybe around Valentine's Day, but I think it was a really cool, really good kind of summer kind of kickoff read. I'm liking it. Give it a thumbs up. Hopefully everything's alright. Happy reading, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next Dippit. Alright, bye! Hello, and welcome to today's reading Dippit. Oh my gosh. All right. So last night, because I finished my last book, I needed to choose one. And I was trying to decide between Just for the Summer and The Do-Over. And you know what? The Do-Over was calling to me. So I decided to read it. And that's right. I have finished it in like less than 24 hours or within 24 hours. And it's so super cute. I mean, it's a teen romance and it's the first like Lynn Painter book that I've ever read. But now I understand why everybody likes her, right? So what the book is about is that we have Emily who wakes up and on Valentine's Day and she's like all geared and ready to go. She has a boyfriend named Josh, who she has like made something for, or not made, or wrapped a present for her, and she's got like all this like plans and just the perfect kind of child, or like perfect child. Like her parents are divorced, and that she bends over backwards to make everybody happy in like in each household that she has to like visit. And well, you know, and she's just kind of like the perfect student, you know, the 4.2 GPA, and her boyfriend Josh has like, you know, the same average, and they're just like going neck and neck, right, for, you know, valedictorian and just, you know, being the best student there is. So on this Valentine's Day, everything goes wrong, and I mean everything goes wrong for her, right? She sees Josh kissing like his old girlfriend, and she doesn't get the summer internship that she's wanting, and you know, her car breaks down. Well, she ends up hitting, right, a car because he like randomly stopped all of a sudden, and it's Nick Stark's car, who is another her chemistry partner's, like, you know, he another student, and her car goes like up in flames because it's an old junk clunker of a car. But anyways, after that is done, you know, she doesn't know what to do. She's just like very angry and frustrated, you know, of course, well, she wore like, you know, like the perfect outfit for Valentine's Day, and she wasn't warm enough, so Nick ends up like giving her his jacket. But after this really horrible day, oh yeah, and her dad was told her at the end of the day that his new wife and their kids were going to go to move to Texas, so that way he can take like the new job, or like some new job, right? So then after that, being a miserable day, she goes into her grandmother's house to stay for the night. But when she wakes up at her dad's place, right? And she's like, I don't remember coming back to my dad. And then she realizes it's February 14th again. You know, she's miserable. And then she ends up going through the day's activities, right? Valentine's Day a couple of times until she realizes that she can do whatever she wants, because, you know, she has to do Valentine's Day over and over. So she definitely has like a day with no consequences, or DONC for short. And her and Nick end up blowing off like school, and she ends up getting a tattoo, and that the tattoo is a song lyric that says, I had a marvelous time screwing everything up. Is it that? No, it's the last line of the book too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had a marvelous time ruining everything, which I think is perfect, right? So then when she wakes up, or basically on this day where she has like a day of no consequences and she really has a great day, she ends up going to bed, and that day doesn't start over, right? And now she has to live with the days of consequences for having this day of no consequence. But she had the day of her life. It was great. She had a really fun time. But now comes the truth. And it's just, she doesn't know what to do. And she was just all this like kind of punishment and everything. And oh my goodness, like she kind of regrets it, but right. But then after having like a nice like day with like Nick, you know, she tries to go and help Nick out. He wants nothing to do with her. And then the book kind of like forward a little bit, and where Emily is just very kind of, she's like, oh, like her and Nick kind of like meet up, and Nick's just like, look, I really actually like you. There's no one else but you, but you know, like maybe we should start dating. And so they do really start dating. Right? And then they just kind of like, you know, have this quick little romance. I think it's fantastic. Right? So I think I might read like, you know, Lynn Painter's next book that I have, like Betting on You, and because they had like I didn't read it, but like there's like her next like sneak peek into her next YA rom-com, right? But why would I the sneak peek when I can just read it? You know what I mean? So that's that. So yay. because that's kind of it for me. Yeah, and we'll catch you on the next Dippit. Alright, bye! Hello, and welcome to today's reading Dippit, and the end of this week's vlog. So, I have started to read Betting on You by Lynn, and so far so good. I'm only like 2 chapters in, so it's not that in depth into it, so I'm kind of happy about that, and I'm really liking it. And then I spent a lot of this morning making some more cookbooks, or the last of my cookbooks, to some mini libraries, so I'm happy about that. So that's kind of it for me. Now you will see all these like little mini library vlogs, or not vlogs, shorts, and my short feed over the next couple months, because I've done that many. But anyways, other than that, everything's going fine, everything's going all right. I'm gonna read Lynn Painter, this book, then maybe Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I don't know, not too sure. I do not want to, put limits on myself, but I'm pretty sure Betting on You will be another like easy read. But yeah, that's kind of it. Gonna give it a thumbs up. Happy reading, everybody, and we'll see you in the next Dippit. Alright, bye!